Hey guys, I thought I'd do a quick little video just outlining some of the patches that I used on the recent recording of Let There Be Light. So you probably already know that we recorded a new album at Hillsong conference. You can actually go on the Hillsong website and pre-order it if you wanted to. It gets released in mid-October. But there's a bunch of patches already on multi-tracks that I use for this album. So I just wanted to highlight some of those and show you kind of what I used. I'm going to do a big sample library of my Obi-sem. As a lot of you may already know, I ended up buying an Obi-sem from Dave Smith just before the album, and I used a ton of it on the album, so I want to do a really comprehensive sample library of that, which I'll release just after the album's released. But for now, I'm just going to show you some of the patches that are already up on multi-tracks that I used on the album. I might skip down to this one first. This is the organ that we used on the album. It's basically UVI's Retro Organs plugin running in the UVI workstation with some overdrive and reverb on it. If you already have Peter James's, that's me, main stage template, it's in there exactly the same way that I used it on this album, so I haven't changed anything there. But a lot of you might not know that I've actually got an omnisphere version of that preset. So I replicated it or tried to get it as close as I could to the Retro Organs version, and that's in the Majestic bundle here. You don't have to buy the whole pack if you didn't want to. You could just get the single patch. It even comes with a reverb stack for omnisphere, which replicates the reverb that I'm using on it as well. But the main patch that I wanted to highlight is this CS80 string pad. On multi-tracks, it's in the Heavenly One bundle, and it's this patch here. But what I did was I did a couple of little tweaks and modifications to it from previous years, and I just wanted to show you those tweaks so you can use it exactly the same way that I did on this current album. I didn't really want to resave it and put it up as a new patch because it's pretty much the old patch just with a few little tweaks. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did so you can use it the same way if you have that patch. Okay, I'm just going to mute this patch here and just focus on the CS80 string pad for now. So one of the first things I did, if you go to the modulation section, is I reduced the alternate panning just to make it a little bit narrower because I didn't want it quite as wide. And basically what I did was I reduced this one to 0.235 and 0.205. So just pause that video or go back and replay it if you need to get those exact settings. That was the first thing I did. The next thing I did was I created kind of a detune effect. And the way I did it was I turned on harmonia, and I detuned this one to 0.575 and the other one to 0.425. And then I actually mapped both of those to a slider inside main stage. So you can pick any slider or knob or whatever. It's actually a knob that I mapped it to. And when I move that knob, it moves both of them. So if you don't know how to do that, just right mouse click, go MIDI learn, and move that slider. Same thing for this one. So both of them will move. In main stage, I literally just selected it, and I just sent it to all, just so it was being sent to the Omnisphere plugin. You could just send it to Omnisphere if you wanted to, but that's what I did in that. And what it does is it brings up the volume and kind of detunes it. So if I want a little bit of extra kind of guts out of my pad sound in big sections, I can crank that. Gets a bit detuned and fatter and wider, and then I can bring it back down if I want. So those are the only two tweaks that I really did to the patch. So just do that if you've got it, and maybe save it as a different version. Maybe go CS80 string pads LBTL, is that Let There Be Light or whatever. And then you've got both versions from the old album and the new album. I'll just talk through these. All I did was a slight dip of 3 dB just to take some of the mud out of it. Nothing major there. And I actually added this in. So it just widens the stereo image just a little bit. And that was another reason why I if I go back here, that's another reason why I moved these back a little bit, just so they didn't pan so wide, because I'd already exaggerated the stereo image with that plugin. Now, if you don't have that Waves plugin, all you need to do is go into the effects section and add Omnisphere's version of that plugin. It's called Imager, and just make it a little bit wider like that. You don't actually have to have that Waves plugin if you don't want to. So I'm just going to take that off. What I'll do is I'll show you that. So I'll play a chord, and then I'm going to turn that knob and make it wider and show you kind of what it's doing. I'll open up the low pass filter, because I always have my low pass filter mapped to the mod wheel, and then let you hear that. So that's what it's basically doing. If it's getting too overdriven, like it did a little bit there, what you can do is reduce the gain in the Tape Slammer plugin as well. Or if you don't want any overdrive, just turn that off completely. Now the other Omnisphere patch that I'm using with this is Big O Behind Pad. If you go on Multitracks, it's in the Ultimate Pads collection. Scroll down, and there it is there. And basically I use this patch when I don't have my Obi-6 with me, because it sounds pretty close to my actual Obi-6, sampled from the same kind of keyboard as the Obi-6. Obviously the Obi-6 is a newer version, but I think it was modeled off the SEM Obi actually, so this patch is really close to what I actually used on the album. So I like to blend that one in. I haven't done any additional tweaks to that. It's exactly how it is on Multitracks. So if I blend those two together, you'll hear what it sounds like. Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight those couple of patches, make you aware of them and the little tweaks that I've done, and how I run them live, just so you got a little heads up before the album's released. So yeah, and like I said, I'm going to do a big sample library of the Obi-6, because I actually use that on every single song on the album. I love that keyboard so much. And that'll be available just after the album's released in October. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching.